This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Comics Illustrator Ron Friends, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. Got a full house tonight. We got a twofer in New Jersey tonight, but speaking to you right now is in New Jersey.
Oh, Charlie, the Professor Essa. I wasn't quite sure when you said twofer. I wasn't thinking, who else is in New Jersey? It's like, oh, Tristan is in New Jersey.
Yeah. And coming to you live from Florida, it is...
Hey y'all, it's Lil Popeye.
And look who's back. Back again in Ohio.
It's Tyler.
Laying on his side.
From Ohio. Coming at you from the living room of Tyler.
On his side. Anyway. So. Let's get into this.
Trying to figure this out.
Don't want to waste anyone's time. So, DC's still going to go forward with their new distribution method. Marvel's waiting for the quarantine to end.
Marvel is just
no official announcement,
biding their time.
But they're waiting.
I find it interesting that arguably, according to Inside Woman Lilith Hellfire, DC was the one who caused the whole mess with Diamond, and DC is the first to bolt.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what Lilith told us last week.
And the plot thickens.
Yeah. You trying to get in on the action?
Yeah,
okay.
So I don't know. Is DC going their usual method where they're just like, oh, we need money now, and Marvel's like, you know what, we have a plan. Let's just.
It's not about the money.
Oh yeah,
it's about something else actually for a change. I feel like AT&T is about to just change the game right now. Marvel doesn't want to join that bandwagon. They can sit on the sidelines. It's fine.
Well, in Marvel's defense, they were once in a very bad relationship where the distribution method was owned by DC, and they kind of got short shrift from it. So there may be some generational fear of putting yourself too much in the hands of DC. I think that maybe Marvel's trying to see, well, what are our options outside of whatever DC has set up? Or how can we make sure this
is the thing. It's not gonna work if everybody does their own thing. That'll collapse on itself, and they'll go crawling back to Diamond. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, if we want to end Diamond, sometimes you gotta have you gotta think about it.
Okay, Tristan, what do you want to tell me real quick?
I think the official word is Marvel's like, we don't want to screw over the stores and stuff, but I don't know if that's just their excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people thought it was Venom, so some people added the symbiote look to it.
Yes. So he was referring to Night Monkey, and that many people, myself included, thought that was going to be, Agent Venom costume, and that people have then went in and added the Spider-Man logo to that. So, tentacles to the Night Monkey costume. So. Yes, Tristan also wanted to let Tyler know his camera was sideways. Anyway, sorry about that. Getting back to the story. Tristan, wait until I give you your cue, okay? Okay. Thank you.
I thought I taught you show business, boy.
Yes, well, I thought he was going to add something, and he did, but just on another topic. It's okay. Anyway, back to Diamond and Marvel and DC and the battle. And Lilith, you were saying that, if everyone doesn't jump on, DC's model, then it all collapses.
Well, or throw out another. I think everybody needs to just kind of get together on a conference call and go, hey, which one sounds like the least bit of, you know what I mean? What's the lesser of the evils here?
Yeah, but is the whole thing going to collapse though if everyone does do their own thing? Like say one of them says,
I think it would. Honestly, I really think it would.
Well, what I found
maybe
interesting,
have two. You can't have one. I agree with not having one, but you can't have it's like the streaming services. People would get tired of it. You know what I mean?
Well, along those lines, you do notice that when DC set it up, they're working with two different vendors.
Exactly.
So that you have an East Coast vendor and a West Coast vendor, and of course, where in between is all the vendors? And are we breaking it by Mississippi? Are we breaking it by population? And maybe we're going to let this guy sneak in a little on his end, and we'll let that guy sneak in a little on that end, and we're going to play both sides against the middle, which is fine. In alternate comics, I want to say friends of the show, but no one's ever been on it.
If Phil would ever get to reading those books.
Yes, but they have said they are totally down with the DC model, which is great. Although, interestingly enough, even when Diamond pulled up, they said, so I don't even think they were distributed by Diamond.
Alternate technically has their own alternative methods of delivery, though. So.
Yeah. So I think they were never even in Diamond's pocket. So, so it seems interesting that they went right into the new DC model, suggesting their support for it, and also maybe that's a sign that other indies are going to go in. Although we did have one indie recently come out very strong, and I'm trying to remember which one it was, saying they're siding with Valiant.
Wasn't it Ultimate?
They were siding with Diamond.
Was it Boom? Was it Boom?
Was it Boom?
It was.
Maybe it was Boom. Yeah, but someone was like, "We are sticking by Diamond. We want to keep with the Diamond."
Well, that
model.
makes sense because isn't Boom in the back pockets of Marvel at this point?
Maybe.
Are they? No, Boom is licensed property.
Or was that IDW?
Yeah. Oh, it was IDW. I think it was IDW. That sounds familiar.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Yeah. Look.
Sorry.
But I mean,
looking it up, see who it was.
But
yeah,
I mean, seriously, that was my question. Would the whole system fall apart if everyone had like their own distribution? Like, hey, if someone says, "Hey, we're going to use Amazon or something to ship our books," or
that does unless it was Amazon, that's the only way that it would not work out. You know, if anybody just said, "Hey, Amazon, can you come up with something real quick?" Yeah,
that was my suggestion from the start. Is because that it surprised me immediately that Amazon. And maybe they are behind the scenes. That's always the thing, is we don't really know, except for the
Bezos is about as a loudmouth as Trump is. So if he was doing something, we know.
Not necessarily. I mean, it is. But yeah, I thought that I immediately thought, well, shouldn't Amazon jump on this? They've already got Comixology. They already have.
Well, they're too busy trying to take over our United States postal system to privatize.
Well, they also might be a little too busy just getting toilet paper to everybody.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Maybe felt we didn't want to take on this extra burden.
Could like Disney or somebody, or like Marvel or DC, just like say, you know what, we're going to have a central printing plant or whatever, and we'll just use FedEx or the U.S. Postal Service. I'm sure someone would love that business.
Exactly.
Well, now that you mention it, it's on the charger right there.
I mean, especially the U.S. Postal Service, they'd be like, you're going to give us a couple million bucks.
What I was going to say, Phil, is that, Disney has a lot of other things they print and other things that they distribute that are not necessarily distributed through Diamond. It may be that Disney is sitting there saying, well, why are we paying someone else to handle our books?
Oh, yeah, I could see Disney having their own thing, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I could see,
start their own Amazon. Start their own Amazon just for everything Disney.
Oh well, yeah, that's certainly their business model, Although I do dislike the three services. I don't think that's a good plan.
What three services?
Like Lilith said about the streaming services, like it's just going to get confusing because we're entering the next level of the streaming wars.
Well, especially now with everyone stuck at home, I think it's going to be survival of the fittest. We'll see which streaming services
get slashed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, exactly, and the problem is that people don't like to switch apps. And I know this because I don't like to switch apps, and I'm people.
I must push a button.
No. Well, first off, you can't just... getting out of apps are always hard. They try to hide the exit because they don't want you to leave.
I am a young man. I cannot figure out these applications.
No, but people don't like to jump. I'm going to say people don't like to jump between applications.
Old people don't. Millennials have no loyalty.
No, it's not about loyalty. It's about laziness. Do not tell me millennials are any lazier than any other group of people in this country, Lilith.
I'm telling you, all I'm saying is I've got Uber Eats, I've got Grubhub, I've got Postmates, I got them all. That's all I'm saying. I have no problem.
Yeah, but those are all... See, but the thing is, Lilith, those are all things that you're taking at one purchase at a time. You know, if you have a TV that is on constant run, as, you know, most Americans do.
Charlie just wants everything in one, you know.
Total package.
Well, it's not even that.
This is the problem. This is how we get Skynet. Nobody cares about Skynet right now, but it's fine.
You never even asked whether or not...
You're contributing to it.
All I'm saying, Loth, is you don't know how quickly things got delivered under Skynet. You assume Skynet was bad.
Skynet made the trains run on time.
Look,
I don't take the train, so I don't care.
The problem with Skynet was someone put Skynet in charge of the military. And that's not a good use for Skynet. Skynet would be so... Like, there's a universe where someone said, no, don't put Skynet in front of the charge of the military, but let them deliver stuff. You know, let's put them in charge of, you know, coordinating shipping. Like, Skynet running Amazon sounds like a great idea. Very centralized organization. AI trying to make our lives better, rather than saying, my job is to prevent the danger to humanity. The greatest danger to humanity is humanity. Which, first off, is a logic loop in and of itself. And actually, truth be told, the thing with Skynet was they didn't... The only reason Skynet attacked humans was because humans were trying to pull the plug on Skynet. Yeah, exactly. And they just should have never given... You know, they should have never given Skynet the launch codes. It's really not that hard.
Well, I mean, Lilith has a point. We are in the year of the apocalypse. Do we really want to give the computers more power?
I'm not saying the computers more power. I'm saying the corporations, Philip.
Oh, that's better.
Well, they were living in continuum. We get a corporate Congress, which technically we probably still are. We already have.
Well,
you know.
The Lilith people will never allow that to happen, Lilith. That's one thing you can rest assured of.
And then the machines gain sentience.
Well, corporations are already people, so just saying.
I'm just saying.
Anybody think about RoboCop?
RoboCop? Oh,
yeah.
IPC, man.
You know where OCP owned the police, owned the city of Detroit?
Yeah,
a corporatized company bought out.
Damn Detroit.
Everything.
Yeah, few people know that's actually a documentary.
Wow.
We love our OCP in Detroit. That's all I'm going to say. You know, yeah. I mean, the idea of a corporation owning a city is not that outlandish because, you know,
it happens. It's
welcome to New York.
No, I mean, literally, there was a thing. There is a thing.
Factory towns.
Yeah, factory towns where literally
where you get paid by the company money equivalent.
Exactly.
In the depression.
Yeah.
No.
Throughout much of history, in fact, you know.
Have you
ever heard of the company store? You know, 16 tons. You know,
exactly. It's a real thing.
It is a very real thing, and
you were still breathing, so I assumed you were okay.
It's honestly, you know, it's honestly a real, you know, corporate feudalism is our modern society. You know, even if we're no longer working at a company store, so much of our lives are bound to what our employer allows us that, you know, we are in a feudalistic state, and you know, that's about to fall apart. You know,
that's right.
Yeah, I know. I just, you know, I hate the idea of a reign of terror, but
that's
man,
right.
People just keep wanting other people to eat cake, and it's like, haven't you seen this movie? You know,
You know what they say? We're doomed to repeat it. We're doomed to repeat it.
It's like, man, even if you only saw the Vincent Price Mask of the Red Death, which is not the original book, the moral's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Or you read Contagion. Am I right, Philip?
Because you'd be in jail.
Oh,
I'm just saying. Anyway.
You mean our Contagion?
Diamond, yes.
Our Contagion episode, Lilith, the gift that keeps on giving. Right, Ray?
Batman. Batman.
Contagion. Get it, Ray? The joke was on you.
Batman.
Is he feeling better, by the way?
Hey, Lilith.
While we're joking.
Lilith. He says he's feeling better, but hey, Lilith, listen to this.
Batman.
I got Mr. Batman
He's gonna kill you.
Batman.
With his...
the big bazooka.
Ray is gonna hurt you. He's gonna take a trip.
Just ask Catwoman.
Oh! Charlie made a Batman damn joke. Did you hear that?
Oh.
He said Batman does have a big...
Yes, I did. We did it, Phil. We did it.
This is true. This is truly the apocalypse. This truly is the apocalypse.
I make dirty jokes too.
That's true.
Sausage.
Let's see. You get the John Holmes mustache.
Like I said, I have a diamond, and any new change is better than what we have. That's all that I can say. I can wait for my books if need be. Just sort your stuff out.
Well, it seems like everybody's waiting except for DC. Everyone's waiting except for DC. They're putting out a limited amount of books the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe everyone's waiting to see how DC does it, and DC's waiting to see how DC does it, because their first week, it's actually just reprints, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty
new
sure.
Books. They're just,
yeah,
it's like, and then maybe the week after, so they're going to see how their reprints sell. And again, are the stores going to be open to receive them, to sell them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that is like the biggest problem with this is, can the stores sell the books once they get them? Because even if they can deliver them, because, Phil and I's store, they're closed, but, they're taking inventory. They're in their place of work. They're working around it.
Well,
and as long as the cops don't ask, nobody bothers.
Well, now that you mention my store, that's an interesting point, because my guy said Marvel and DC contacted him to say, hey, do you want the books, are you going to be open to sell the books and stuff? So they both asked if he could receive books, but only DC's going to be shipping. So was Marvel considering it?
Well, I mean, and again, that could be that
sell the books.
Marvel may have their own distribution plan already in place. That's the thing. Like I said, it's entirely possible Disney has trucks.
Oh, how funny would that be? If Marvel hasn't said a word, but then like the day before DC's books ship, Marvel ships their books to the store.
Well, exactly. Once they see the stores are open, then Marvel's there with the books. So there you go.
Isn't that what Disney does? Is keep everything quiet?
And they crush them.
Well, yeah, they're very good at that. That is very much their shtick, And that's they only let Mark Ruffalo.
They have to be careful with how that looks to the public too, though.
Well, yeah,
optics.
Well, they're having their own problem with is that Roy Disney's daughter? Yeah, that's Disney. That's Walt's niece, who feels that Disney is not taking care of their people properly, which I don't know. It's a lot to ask of any company to maintain. I think that they maintain people as best they could. From what I understood, they were maintaining health benefits, and they were furloughed so they could get unemployment. And California does have a working social safety net. It's not like they furloughed people in Mississippi, or Florida. God help you. Voted. No.
Florida's actually taking care of their people.
Not what I read. Florida has
let them go to the beach.
Unemployment system.
Hey, let them go to the beach, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm just saying they have from what I've read, they have the worst unemployment.
My employees is all that I'm saying. And that was like 275 of them. So
yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just saying I heard they have a very bad unemployment system in Florida to try and navigate. And that, of course, is the biggest problem with the whole system is that if you don't have a solid social safety net in your state already, any money the federal government gives can't get to people. And that's like the biggest problem. Like the only thing the federal government can do is those $1,200 checks. because those are the only thing that the federal government can actually say, here's money. But they don't know who needs money or how to get money, because that has to be something that's handled on the state level, because the states need to have a proper social safety net in the first place. If you don't have a proper social safety net, then the state can't do anything with the funds.
Oh, so. But yeah, Marvel. I just saw the article. Marvel did put out a statement saying they're not shipping books next week. So.
Oh yeah, no, I know that they said that they're not shipping any books. They just haven't weighed in.
Yeah.
On the Diamond debate.
And it is Boom that said they restate their allegiance to comic shops.
Yes, there we go. Well, it's a Diamond,
I guess, but I guess in their open letter they mentioned the comic shops,
Yeah, and again, there is this argument that is made that it doesn't do any good to ship books to a closed store. True. Or to burden a company with books they can't sell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that was arguably Diamond's original argument when they shut down, was that, look, if we send out these books to a store that can't open, they lose money. It's actually just costing them money, and then we got to pick up the books that they want to return. Basically, it was just going to be a frivolous effort that was going to cost the comic shops money, and that it was more cost effective to put the brakes on it than to continue it, because that was their determination. At least that's what they said,
That's right.
Okay.
The world we live in.
Yeah.
2020, I want my refund, damn it.
Oh, no refunds. It's a one-way trip. You got to go all the way to the end of the ride. It's not a roller coaster. It doesn't loop back, which... In this case, we're going to say, okay, that's
we're kind of stuck in the middle, waiting on the fire people to come get us out. Actually,
sure. It's only April. That's the scary thing.
Out of the gooch.
Out of the gooch. We are into
waiting on Godzilla. Just come take me. Waiting for the asteroid. Something. Just something.
I was told there was no hate on Uranus.
Whoa! That's a quantum zone. That's a quantum zone joke.
Noise.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many Uranus.
Oh my lord!
This is definitely my pick of the week, by the way.
That's what we were talking about Tuesday. It's like we were reading some of those early Marvel Boy appearances in that reprint issue. Every other panel, they had to mention Uranus.
Yes, Uranus was a big deal.
It was popular in the 50s. Yeah, Uranus was popular.
Did they just discover it? Like what?
No, they had discovered Uranus. Well, it wasn't that long. Uranus, I think, was... Well, Pluto was... But, because Uranus is the last big planet. Because really, it's actually the eighth planet. Because Pluto, of course, as we all know, ain't nothing but a dog now.
It's back to being a planet.
No, it's not. They reinstated it.
Yeah,
who reinstated it? Donald Trump reinstated it, because that doesn't count.
It's been years. It's been years since they reinstated it back as a planet.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I want to see who's calling it a planet. I want to check their credentials, because the downgrading was not done lightly, and to re-upgrade it. Now, I will say, I always thought it should be a planet. It has a moon
for everybody.
In the words of my man,
I've always assumed everything about my life was the norm for everybody.
Yep, Pluto's still a planet as of reinstated as a planet back November of 2019. So.
Okay, so it's a Trump administration political ploy.
Ooh, Pluto
planet again.
Trump, it's the planetary science of whatever, blah blah blah. Nothing to do with it.
Yeah. What university are they affiliated with?
Science and Trump? You can't say that in the same sentence. What's wrong with you, Charlie?
Oh, they pretend to like science when, it's fighter rays that you can shoot inside your body. I'm just saying.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Nobody tell him.
Don't even get me started on that. I mean, yeah, he shouldn't say stuff like that, but meanwhile, there's idiots don't believe anyone. Oh, we could drink bleach. Okay.
Tell you, the man is the Hermes Conrad of low bars.
You keep his name out of your mouth in regards to Trump as well.
He's the Barbados Slim.
Thank you. All of you Trump fans are like, that's right. That's more like it.
I'm just saying, it's as I've said, when the guy drank the cleaner, and his wife said Trump told him to, and his supporters said no, Trump never said drink fish tank cleaner. He would never say. No one would say something that stupid. And Trump said, "Hold my Diet Coke."
My Big Mac, more like it, but.
Wow, somebody don't love their president anymore.
I actually do know way too much about the stuff he eats. But yes, he does drink Diet Coke. Drinks a lot of Diet Coke. But he does eat like 6 cheeseburgers, so.
I mean, with the Diet Coke, you can eat anything you want now. Wasn't that the whole gimmick of Diet Coke?
Apparently, that's what he believes, so yeah. Poor Tyler.
So
I thought we were going to talk about comic books.
Before we get the
children, let's.
All right, before we get the comics, sorry, Charlie, but
Justin wants to give his review. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, he'll be first up. So yeah, tell him to prepare.
Okay.
But Tyler, Lilith, did you
Get
watch?
prepared.
Well, Lilith, I know you're not watching Flash now. Tyler, did you watch Flash on Tuesday?
I have not, because if you want to talk real quick, conspiracy. Ever since this whole COVID stuff started, our antenna doesn't pick up anything but like 2 channels. And I've even tried buying different antennas because we don't have
over-the-air
cable.
antenna.
Yeah, I bought the cheapest over-the-air antennas possible, and they work fine. And now all of a sudden, I don't get anything.
They want your streaming money.
I bought an expensive one, and we pick up just 2 channels. And then I haven't watched it yet because Ragdoll is kind of creepy towards the kids.
True. Yeah, it was a Ragdoll.
So
episode,
Janine and I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
Okay, Tyler. As a fellow over-the-air broadcast recipient,
King of over-the-air, Charlie, yes, sir.
When was the last time you reset your channels?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
So what you should do? Okay, so if you're up that late on a clear night at about 2 a.m, go into the settings where it says auto channel whatever over the air, and it like tests all your channels.
Yeah.
You probably, because they do frequency hop regularly. Usually they're supposed to announce it on the channels, but sometimes they don't. So it could just be that all of your settings are set to bad channels.
Okay.
But I will say, in your defense, also recently my ability to pick up channels has completely died.
They want that sweet, sweet streaming money, I'm telling y'all.
Well, it has a lot to do with atmospheric problems. Every time it gets overcast.
The air's too clear now?
A little cloudy.
The signal can't get through because the air's too clear now?
Yep.
No, once the air's clear, the signal will get through.
Yeah.
But when it gets overcast, once you get clouds or rain, suddenly it stops working. And my TV has this weird quirk where if there's an interruption in the signal, it turns itself off. So that's not fun. So anytime that you get like a little bit of digital scrubbing, it'll shut off.
Now that global warming has slowed down, now the signals aren't getting through.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation to you and anyone else that's having problems is wait till a clear night, go to the reset, and like I said, it's on a clear night. Does your antenna have a signal booster?
The one I currently have, yes.
You have to plug it into the wall. Okay, that's good.
Ones.
Yeah, so that's good, and that should help. And then from there, you should be able to, like I said, on a clear night, do the channel resets, see if any of them come back. That's my recommendation. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of tech support right now because we're in open enrollment. So,
yep. Oh yeah, you better hope school goes back, Tyler. You're gonna be teaching them over the computer. All right. Yes, but yeah, Flash was good. I'm just wondering how they're gonna end the season because they cut it by I think 2 episodes. So
yeah, it's supposed to end like.
I hope it's not just like a very abrupt ending. But it looks like they're finally getting Iris out of that mirror dimension next week. Thank God. That's been dragging on.
Yeah. I know. This season's going to be 19 episodes or something like that?
Yeah, 19 or 20, yeah, because they cut it by 2 or 3 episodos.
Because of where the production was?
Yeah, where they got done filming before everything shut down.
Supergirl's doing a jumble, they're editing together what they had shot for the finale.
Well, yeah.
And because they were in the middle of shooting the finale, so they're just going to kind of edit together what they have to make a season end.
I know. I watched
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, last night was the finale of Law and Order SVU. Season 21 finale.
Season 90?
No, season 21. That's all.
Yeah, because it's a separate. It did a reboot. They did a Crisis on Infinite Law, and only the SVU universe was survived.
Oh, I still don't think we mentioned that here, Lilith. Yeah, did we ever talk about
Christopher
Meloni's getting his own SVU or Law and Order spinoff? Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I'm just gonna say, D'Onofrio's was the best. Stop trying.
Well, now I think that's going to be an FBI. He's working with the FBI, if I'm not mistaken.
Who, Meloni? I think it's a New York thing, but it's a different division. I think. Let me see. I might have it.
Yeah, it wasn't Major Case, and it's not SVU.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was Homicide, so I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it wasn't Bunko. I always want them to do Law and Order Bunko Squad, but they never do that.
I just want Law and Order Ice-T. That's what I wanted to call it.
I mean, you could get it eventually if Mariska Hargitay would just chill back in the executive producer slot.
Oh, please! You know how much money she's probably making now? She ain't going nowhere.
Hey, she is the captain now.
Oh yeah,
okay.
She really is the captain, literally.
Well, that's why I wonder why
she's good.
That's why I wonder if that's why he got his own spin-off show now. Did he want to come back? That neither one of them wants to share a show. That now they each get their own show.
He's like, I was on ours.
All right, the show will report. This is from Variety. The show will reportedly follow Stabler as he heads up the organized crime division of the NYPD.
Oh, the organized crime division. Yeah. That's right.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean it's a good field.
Be right back. Gotta go get my kids.
Gonna go.
So that means Happy's done. That's great. Happy was so I like the comics or whatever, but trying to watch it in a TV medium was headache inducing.
And it's I tried watching the first 2 or 3 episodes of that, and I guess maybe because I wasn't high or drunk, I couldn't get through it. But
and you have to be high because I was drunk when I watched it, so I think you have to be high.
I figured.
Yeah. It was just a little crude for my taste, but
Well, that's kind of the point of that comic.
I understand.
It is the Howard Stern of comic books. Okay?
I understand that's the genre. It's just not my genre. It's nothing against it. It looks fun and enjoyable. I'm just saying,
So I wonder if it just got canceled, or they were like, "Hey, we'll give you a new Law and Order spinoff," and he was like, "Oh, I'm out. See you, Happy."
I think that
it is owned by Universal, so
and truth be told, I get the feeling Happy was, it's a show that was
ran
on
its course,
and and I'm sure they probably figured, hey, we're going to get more advertising money out of Christopher Meloni coming back to a Law and Order spinoff than we're going to do from Happy on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
at 10 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey Lilith, just out of curiosity, because I was watching Crossing Jordan the other day when I did have broadcast TV, and Chris Noth was on there. Is Crossing Jordan and Law and Order in the same universe? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
Is it a Dick Wolf show? I always forget to ask if Crossing Jordan is a Dick Wolf show. If it is a Dick Wolf show, then yes, probably.
I mean, it's probably because he was a cop. It was Chris Noth.
But it could have just been Chris Noth being Chris Noth at this point. I mean, he's either Mr. Big or a cop.
There's one way to tell. Was Belzer on it?
No, Belzer hasn't been on that show yet. Though Belzer goes between universes because
Hey, he was on the Flash as so the original Flash from 19.
Oh yeah, the John Wesley Shipp one. Yeah, but he was a reporter there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't actually he
was a crime beat reporter though.
Yeah, he wasn't Munch yet.
Yeah, he wasn't Munch. Yeah, no.
It was an alternate universe where Munch was a crime beat reporter. See, it's not one Munchiverse. It's an infinite Munchiverse.
Oh God, infinite Munchiverse. No.
Council Munches.
We are truly in the darkest timeline.
For those who don't remember his old HBO special,
Oh hey,
Two Lone Nuts.
Oh hey, Lilith, are you still watching Legends?
I was actually getting caught up on Legends, and I'm just so they went full Constantine, but they didn't bring back Manny? I'm so upset right now. And Astra aged? I'm like, demons age? What is this universe?
Yeah, so is that one of the perks of hell you don't age?
And then Ray's gone, and I'm just like, he's married to a fairy godmother? What the hell happened?
People wanted your wacky Legends, you got them.
When it comes to characters that are not supposed to age that age, it's because they're played by humanoid actors who do age.
Well,
they didn't have to be this way, and she shouldn't even be a demon.
Yeah, no. It's a different actress, Charlie. So this isn't it? It's a different actress. I mean, she was just a child.
Yes, it's a different actress.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It didn't have to have this big time jump, Charlie, because it's a different actress.
Well, then maybe her soul is expressing herself in this form now.
Treat yourself.
Because why should her form be consistent?
Do demons have souls, or do they collect? I don't know what the rules are.
I don't know, Lilith. Inform us.
They're playing loosey-goosey. This is more...
Well, you know...
Where the hell...
As Tristan and I were talking about why Carnage has the jagged parts on the outside of his mouth, whereas Venom has actual humanoid teeth, that the form that the symbiote takes relates to the inner self-imagining of the being bearing the symbiote. Much in the same way that gamma radiation will actually express your inward self as an outer being. Likewise, I'm sure demons do have a similar way that they present themselves when they're not wearing their skin suits like Michael. What's your question, Tristan?
Did someone get caught up on Supernatural, or is that the only Supernatural reference you have?
I have no idea about. I've never seen anything about Supernatural. What I reference to Supernatural?
Oh, they mentioned. Did you watch this week's episode of Legends? They did reference it, Lilith.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. So supposedly they have you'll see the in-universe excuse for why Supernatural the last season's delayed, and it's not Corona.
Not all of them are.
Oh my.
Oh, what did she? Oh, I forget. Sarah, did she say? I think she said Dean is her hall pass.
Oh, okay.
So.
Not really.
Like Dean Winchester, or
yeah. Because she's. I think was she talking to? She either talking.
Oh, Zari? Are you talking about Zari says that?
No. Sarah says that. Sarah says that to Charlie. I think.
Really?
Because she's telling her about Supernatural because they like land on where they're shooting. Spoilers, and like Charlie's like, wait, what's Supernatural? And Sarah's like, what?
I've been too devastated since Ray left. I'm just like, what? I mean, I knew it was coming, but it was like actually a really like cute little episode, and I was like, the nerve to be the best episode so far this season, and he's leaving. The nerve of it. Because they were like, Damien Dark's coming back. I'm like, well, there's that. Good for Neil.
All right, and here's my other question. Why is Mick just like doing this kid thing now, or like he really doesn't go on missions? I mean, is there a reason why Heatwave's not doing anything besides just like?
Because he's getting ready to get the boot too. So why even work hard if you don't have to?
Maybe. Why are we booting?
Or maybe he hurt his back. Who knows? You know, Dominic Purcell is pretty old.
Oh, maybe
I know he doesn't look it, but he is pretty old.
Maybe he pulled a Joe West. Okay.
Yeah.
Although, man, so said hurt his back. My mind immediately went to Xena because that's how old I am.
They were playing Battlestar Galactica Marathon on Sci-Fi, and I think they're going over to Xena, and I'm just like, yay! But y'all forgetting Hercules, but it's fine. It's fine. That is the better two shows.
We'll just say, Kevin Sorbo made his bed, and we'll
I understand that.
It's.
Honestly, when you talk about great spin-offs, nobody ever mentions frickin' Xena. And that pisses me off.
Well, that's because I think most people think of Xena as an original show. I mean, I think you have to remind people that Xena was actually a spin-off of Hercules.
Yeah, I
honestly think, like, Xena...
People just forget.
Yeah, I think people forget Hercules, and Xena is just, like, its own show. I think if a lot of people saw an episode with Xena and Hercules, they go, "Oh, I didn't realize Hercules was a spinoff of Xena," because Xena was way more popular than Hercules.
And we're how many years?
True.
And we're how many years out from it too? So a lot of people just hear about Xena probably.
But I would expect that the core demo would know that. People are always like, "Oh yeah, Hercules was the thing that happened."
Oh yeah, but Xena was better. It
was.
Xena was a better story, and,
the angel of her day. The angel of her day.
And to be fair,
Buffy nerds.
Yeah. Speaking about people who weren't supposed to age, who did.
What about you, Charlie Esser?
I don't know.
Comics? I heard there was
That's why I got to grow the facial hair so I can
let's get to comics so we can
okay, Tristan, you want to do your review?
Phil's Comics Corner.
That's right. Okay. We got a bunch of old comics, a few new ones, but everyone, we're gonna have a review from a up and coming superstar, Tristan Esser.
Okay, I'm going to put him on.
In another couple years, he's going to replace his old man.
Yep. Welcome to Capes and Lunatics, the next generation.
Grab Luca. Is he awake?
Yeah, he's right
then you'll just have my dogs. It'll be fine.
What's up, Tristan?
Hello. Today I'll be talking about what I thought about the Amazing Spider-Man comic, Carnage and Venom. When I first actually saw this book, the cover art looks like Venom and Carnage are going to team up. But in this book, actually Venom and Carnage fight against each other.
Hey, Tristan, can I ask you a question? Is that a reprint, or did the old man spring for an original?
Did you all spring for an original, or is it a
Don't ask it.
It's the original.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, it looks extra thick for some reason. Okay.
Tell Lilith that we have bad import for it, so she doesn't get mad.
No, Phil asked.
Okay. Anyway, so tell me about the story. And what you thought about the characters.
Oh, well, there were a few things I learned about some of these characters. If Johnny Storm is able to, he can actually do a ginormous explosion underwater.
Yeah, Nova Blast, yeah.
Also, another thing I learned is that the host feels the same thing as the symbiote.
Yeah.
And I actually never knew that before.
Yeah, their nervous systems are, like, connected. Yeah.
And, Carnage, like he always is just a sick person.
Oh, yeah. Insane.
Also, a little cameo of the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah, the ad. Oh, it is original, looks like, yeah.
The one thing I wonder is that why is there a Ninja Turtles ad in a Marvel comic book?
Because Konami paid for it.
Because they need that sweet, sweet money.
Tristan, if you paid enough money, you could have an ad in Marvel Comics.
Back in the day, before they were a monolith.
Back in Daddy's day.
The comics books we read have ads in them, just only Marvel ads.
Well, exactly. That's my point.
Ads for them.
We'll talk about that when I get to the 60s comic.
They have Disney money now. They don't need to take ads from people.
This isn't 60s.
No, that's like, what year
90s.
was that, Jonathan Phillip?
Oh my god, he just hurt my soul.
That's like the 90s?
I don't know when this was made.
Ninja Turtles in the 60s. Somebody school this child, please.
No, not the Ninja Turtles.
I know. We're gonna
this
have to
comic.
teach this
I just
things.
never knew when it came out.
I know it's the 90s. I'll look up an exact date here. I knew we should have had mine in front of me.
You ready to let me come back? Or?
Yeah, you can. I don't know what to
Hey.
That's fine, but you did a great job.
Hey, Charlie.
Tristan Esser, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Esser.
Charlie, ask him what letter grade he get. Ask him what letter grade he gives it.
Oh, Tristan, what letter grade do you give the comic? He says it's an A.
Nice. But yeah, it's 1992.
1992. Hey, that's your daddy graduated from high school.
Wait, what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I graduated in 1992. Yes, Philip, I know you and Lilith were born in 1992.
No, I graduated high school
by then.
No, I graduated high school in 1996. No, at first I thought you were saying you graduated after me. I was like, wait, no. But no, yeah, that's right. The math works.
There we go.
It checks out. He did the math, guys. He did the math.
Okay. I did the math.
Yes.
All right. So since
that was Tristan's review. I'm very proud of him.
All right. So since the children are doing their reviews, Lilith, do you want to throw something out?
Can I? So I tried to give Women Agent of Peace #1 a chance. I was like, oh, Amanda and Jimmy. Okay.
Oh, wait, the Wonder Woman one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was the Harley Quinn team up with Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, so I get why they got Amanda and Jimmy, but, like, their writing style just doesn't suit Wonder Woman. But I did love the art by Anaki Miranda. Mm-hmm. That was great.
I mean, it wasn't
the story...
I mean, it wasn't
just absolute bonus.
It wasn't the best, but I liked it better than, like, Harley's solo that they wrote. Maybe because Wonder Woman was in there. I don't know. But I think
not a good team up. I'm very offended.
a lot of all these ones they released this week, I think they said they pulled those from those giant size issues, they put out in Walmarts and stuff.
Which is weird because Giant Aquaman #4 came out, so...
Yeah. Unless it was older ones or something, yeah. Did you read any of the other digital ones they put out this week?
Read them all.
Okay.
But I just had to let you guys know, I would say Wonder Woman, Agent of Peace, even for 99 cents, do not buy.
All right, here's my question. Out of the 5 this week, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Flash, which one did you like the best?
Ooh, I'd have to almost... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to say Aquaman.
Oh, okay. That was a decent, yeah.
Hashtag judge me, it's fine.
It was only 16 pages, but yeah, it was him keeping Black Manta from stealing that cursed artifact from the museum.
I like Steve Orlando doing Aquaman. I do. He's a refreshing change of pace.
He's a pretty good writer.
Stuff that I like. Well, it takes a certain kind of person to take Aquaman. Come in and they like to make all the jokes.
Yeah.
And change all the things,
I mean, the Flash story was good on the cruise ship, with King Shark and everything, but it was kind of weird because it was like a mismatch of different continuities because it was like comic book Barry, but it was like TV Iris because she was African American. So, and then it's the relation.
Welcome to this strange new world of comic books that don't care about continuity.
I guess because it's one of those Walmart deals, but it's it wasn't their relationship from the TV show. It wasn't their relationship from the regular comic. So it was wait, where is this? This isn't the regular comics or the TV show. Where are we at?
It's DC's version of the Ultimate Universe. It can be whatever you want from day one and leave it to the writers to figure it out. No yellow boxes.
I know. I want editor's notes. Why don't they do editor's notes anymore? For the most part, because people would have to do their homework.
Marvel put a copyright on it. What you gonna do?
No, because people would have to do their homework. I'm like, isn't that the best the way to sell stuff is just put editor's notes and say, hey, do you want to know the backstory on this story or the last time so and so showed up? Hey, go buy this issue.
Well, I think if you actually want an answer, Phil, I would say the reason they don't do that as much anymore is because, first off, if they reference something in the 60s, it's going to highlight, that this is a character from 60 years ago, and so it's not really useful to do that. But at the same time, I think a lot of modern comic tales are kind of very contained in the moment, in the moment of time. I don't think they do a lot of thinking back to, remember last year, and I think when they do an editor's note. I don't think the last time I saw someone reference something that, I think even when it's a last ish, they do say last ish.
I don't see a lot of that anymore. Sometimes they do. It depends.
Well, maybe it's not DC. DC's bad.
Yeah, but I don't think they do it in every Marvel book though either, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the writer. Depends who the editor is or something.
Yeah, I mean, usually I know what they're referencing, so I don't need the asterisk. So it's
not everyone has your vast knowledge, Charlie Husser.
Yes.
I'll tell you what doesn't need an asterisk. Freaking Danny. That's a Ultimate Spider-Man podcast joke. Because every time they mention the
yes. Because we're doing the Black Costume Saga, and every issue they're like, "Hey, see Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars for where this cool new costume came from." Every issue.
Why are you saying Danny?
Because Danny.
Because that's the editor's name that writes the note. So it's thank you, Danny.
I think it was
Danny.
Fingeroth. Okay. Yeah.
But not Denny, right? It's not Denny O'Neil.
No,
it was Danny Fingeroth, I think. Yeah.
Okay, because see, for me, that's every time I think about editor's notes, I always think of Denny O'Neil because Denny O'Neil worked on Denny O'Neil would do those for G.I. Joe as a kid, and just wanted to bring that up because among my haul this week, Justice League number 73, 1967 was it? Or 1968? 1 second.
Ooh,
1969, sorry. And you'll see
take a drink,
it is written by the great Denny O'Neil and actually takes place on Earth 2 for the most part.
Ooh.
We're opening up with the Council of Stars ejecting one of their members, Aquarius, for his embrace of chaos against order. We get, because there's a show coming out but not really, Starman, who I am believing is related to Stargirl. Am I correct in that? They both got like a cosmic rod. Although his rod is
they're not related. He passed the torch to her.
Yeah, she kind of inherits.
Crazy.
He passes
the rod to her, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to say his rod is not as big as her rod. So, who's ever getting up these cosmic rods, that rod got a lot bigger. Or maybe just the cosmic rod looks a lot bigger in her hands. So,
big bazooka.
Somebody tell Rob.
Yeah, Chantal.
But because you can see, here's the cosmic rod right in his hand, and it's a decent sized rod. If you didn't see a rod like this before, you say, "Oh, that's about how big a rod should be." I'm just saying, Stargirl's rod. It looks a little oversized. It looks like that's not even a practical rod when you think about rods that you're going to use for cosmic energies. Anyway,
I'm just going to have a whole page of Charlie Esther saying rod in different ways.
The Weekend Aquarius steals Starman's rod, which then empowers him. Oh, and of course here we have Black Canary, Dana
Out of the gooch.
Getting into her costume because before you have to go fight crime in a dangerous situation, make sure you take 10 minutes to put on a good costume.
I mean, what's the point? Did you even fight crime if you didn't put a costume on?
Fishnets.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, her husband, this dude,
Larry Lance or whatever.
Larry Lance, Larry Lance. He's just in his suit the whole time. He doesn't put on a costume.
That's because he's a police officer.
He's not a superhero.
Well, I understand. But he is fighting crime like a real man. He does a great little thing.
He puts on a uniform, same difference.
But he's going to fight crime even in his suit. What, Tristan? What's your question? Make it quick.
This was showcased in Deadpool 2, but in the trailer, when I wonder how they're doing the costume.
Oh, the costume when he changes in the film. Yes, that was done for humor. Anyway, speaking of throwing shade, which is a segue here, which is one of my favorite things here, when we get to Earth 2, our good friend Denny makes a real great point to point out that in Earth 2, Wonder Woman hasn't been depowered.
Ooh! And who depowered her? And who depowered her, Denny?
Yeah, it's just an interesting... I thought it was an interesting point that he's going to make here.
He's like, I understand. I messed up.
Yeah. Well,
hey, that's a Taco Baloney factory right there.
In the other book, but here she has stellar powers, and all of our heroes get distracted on the way to Dinah Lance's call because she sends out a call saying, "Come help." And they'll get distracted by things. This guy, Captain Midnight, that's our cover shot, is the child gets empowered and smacks him around because apparently Aquarius is empowering random things to delay the superheroes. Because he's basically like evil Mr. Mixoplex. He is like if Mr. Mixoplex met Thanos. It's kind of fun. I actually like Aquarius as a villain. I am wondering why DC has not done more with him.
Because no one cares.
Yes, well, exactly. Well, that's the thing is I pick up these issues. They're very random issues. They're a lot of fun. Red Tornado in this is like kind of the Jar Jar Binks of the JLA. I'm sorry, the JSA, where they, I am just a machine. You do not recognize that. You think I am a screw up. Even like Superman calls him. You know what, Red Tornado, hold back. You're kind of a screw up.
Hey, to be fair, the old version of Red Tornado is a mess.
Yes.
The new version pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he is. I like the original Ma Kettle version. The inspiration for Forbush Man. But we're not getting that here. Anyway, Aquarius beats the heck out of Superman because you gotta own him. You gotta wharf Superman. He basically says how he's going to destroy the universe because the cosmic rod. The cosmic rod gives him power.
Yeah, you wrecked that universe with your rod.
Doesn't matter if the rod's not a big rod. It's not the size of your rod. It's how you use it.
Hey, big units.
You know, basically Dr. Fate. In a classic, you know, I've seen this gag so many times where things are destroyed, but someone puts the magic bubble around us, and we're the only things keeping things in existence. The Avengers did this with Circe, if you recall, when the universe kept on flipping out.
Oh, yeah.
That was just after Gilgamesh joined them.
Yes.
Formerly the Forgotten One. Anyway, Red Tornado gets to Earth 1 because he went to Earth 1 because Dr. Fate sent him to Earth 1 to recruit the Justice League to help. And they basically keep Red Tornado like sitting around, not really letting him talk. Adam comes off as a real dip in this, by the way.
Well, you know why. You see the two blokes sitting there, don't you? The biggest a-holes of all time.
Who, Hal Jordan and Bruce Wayne?
Yes.
Yes,
Fight me.
Ray,
don't care.
wait, you're talking about Ray's favorite character?
Batman.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Can't believe that, Ray.
Finally, when he says, yes, my entire universe is being destroyed, maybe we should go do it. They're like, oh, man, we've kept you sitting around here for like 2 weeks. So I guess in the previous books, Red Tornado shows up and says, guys, I got to tell you about this thing in my universe. Like, okay, Red Tornado, whatever. It's like, no. Misa, tell you a big problem in Misa world. And they're like, what? Oh, gee, we screwed up. So, yeah.
I don't know.
This is what I was talking about with ads. Man, the amount of ads in these books. You know, I got mad about the ads in the Archie books because there were so many, but they were all for Archie books.
Hey.
This is like when you could just have ads for stuff. Someone paid money to put these ads here.
Hey, I would deal with
that.
a ton of ads if every book was like 25 or 50 cents.
Well, you know, this was, speaking of which, this book is 15 cents.
See?
There is a whole piece in here in the bullpens or the bulletin section. National Press, brother. This is still National Comics publishing these, or National Publications, where they basically apologize for the increased cost to 15 cents. It's like, we know. It's
Hold
a lot to ask.
$1.99, they said.
Yeah, well, they were still, and apparently I'm guessing they were like always, that has been DC's model, is just be less expensive. And because, as you see my GI Combat, which I also got, because Haunted Tank vs. Attila the Hun, how is that not a story you want to read? And it lives up to the hype, let me tell you that.
Something Charlie Ussman, right?
That was only 12 cents, and this is like a year before this. So they just jacked it up.
3 whole cents.
3 whole cents. But, you know, they say, look, man, things cost more. You're going to realize that. And they basically say, look, man, a candy bar used to be a nickel. Now it's a dime. We're going up 3 cents, dude. Bear with us.
It's a brand new world. We're going to the moon and everything.
Yeah, well, that's the hope, man. That's the hope. GI Combat, man. You know, here's one thing I want to say, because this is like the oldest book I got, and this is what really strikes me the most about this. Do you see what isn't on our front page?
I hold them in my hands.
What?
Who wrote and drew the book? No credits. There are 2 stories in here.
How?
Not a credit to any of them. This is 1960.
No normal way, you see?
No, hey, lady, this is DC.
Yeah, low.
This is 1968. Because, sweetheart, let me tell you something.
Oh, sweetheart. Hey.
No, sweetheart. Let me tell you. Marvel, with their big 25-cent book.
Let me tell you, female.
Let me tell you.
Let me mansplain you.
In 1967, okay, Marvel is already at 25 cents. Well, now this is Marvel Tales, which is like a 4-story book. I only had time to read 3 of them. And everybody gets a credit in it, you know. All the news stories. Who doesn't get credits? When we do our reprint from the 50s, I will never know who created Marvel Boy.
Oh.
This knowledge is lost to history.
It's still up there on Uranus.
Yes. Well, you know, maybe it came fully formed from Uranus. That is the argument that may be made.
The coda button.
If you want Uranus jokes out your butt, go check out. Well, It's on YouTube right now, but when it hits the podcast, check out Quantum Zone episode 112.
Yeah. But anyway, so Marvel Tales, our first story is a Spider-Man story where basically Spider-Man, this is the one where he kind of like gives up being Spider-Man, but still dresses as Spider-Man on occasion.
Gotta be more specific. Okay. It's the story where he says, great power, great responsibility.
Well, no, actually, although I love this part here where, like, Otto doesn't even mention that he actually did beat Spider-Man once first. But he's just like, I should have been the one to defeat Spider-Man, because Green Goblin, in, like, the previous issue, got Spider-Man to run. But the reason Spider-Man's running is because, see, people don't know, Aunt May used to be frail.
Yeah, she used to be 100.
She used to be
old people.
She used to be. Oh yeah, she makes a joke here about how she feels like a spry old 60-year-old all of a sudden. Spry is a 60-year-old. That's later when she's recuperating. But the entire idea is like, Spider-Man has like given up being a Spider-Man because he has to be there for Aunt May because she's so frail and sickly. And you know who the real hero of this book is, though?
Who?
I'll give you one guess. Who's the one person that would never desert Spider-Man when he needed him most? Flash Thompson.
Oh, jeez. I wouldn't want to hang out with me neither.
He puts up, because he is so mad at everyone saying Spider-Man's a coward. He's saying, if Spider-Man is running from fights, he's got a reason. And he tells Liz that he is going to go put on a Spider-Man costume to try and, so people know Spider-Man's still out there, and that if he ever gets in trouble, the real Spider-Man will show up. He picks a fight with 3 car thieves, who he figures he could take anyway. They're not superpowered people. But there's 3 of them, and there's only one Flash Thompson, and they do beat the stuff out of them. And Peter, he's running there
to fight him.
Yeah, he's running to save them, but still can't. So, it basically, it's all bad. It's all rough for poor Peter. Even Flash is questioning his devotion to him. This is, I wonder how many times he has thrown away, but this one he actually like puts it in a little box in a bag and crushes it, throws it in the trash can.
Oh, is that Amazing number 50? When he I think is that when he puts it in the trash can, when he gets Amazing Spider-Man 50 or something.
Yeah. Anyway, but basically, Aunt May gives him the pep start. It's like, look, Parkers ain't quitters, so quit being a whiny little person, Peter. You know what I found also very interesting about this? Do you know what Mary Jane's last name is?
It's not Watson, or is it?
It is not. It is a Watkins.
Another stamp.
Anna Watkins.
Yeah.
And it's too bad Anna Watkins' niece isn't in time. Wait, Watkins?
Oh, that's a Stan Lee blunder. I mean, in one of those first issue, in one of the first ever issues, he calls him Peter Palmer.
Yeah, I just want to believe.
And worst of all, Peter Palmer. You know what I'm saying, kids? You know what I'm saying?
He spent the night with.
I just find that fascinating because
he spent the night with Peter Palmer.
What's interesting about this is I do wonder if this is the first time they start talking about MJ. I have to look this up now because it's like it is so offhanded, and he doesn't even acknowledge it. So it's not even like it doesn't seem like it's a trope. Like I'm mentioning, Anna Watkins' niece. So
maybe because
it's very interesting.
Because Aunt May mentions for a while, she's like, "Oh, you have to meet Anna's niece," and Peter
Dude, that buildup was horrendous.
I know, because Aunt May's like, "Oh, she has a great personality," so Peter's like, "Oh, she must be a dog," and then she shows up, face a tiger, hit the jackpot.
Yes. Although they use the word tiger in here also, but not by her. Then we get Marvel Boy in the Lost World, which, as we know, is starts off on Uranus. Actually, it doesn't start off on Uranus. It starts off in the ocean where many people are dying because the continent is rising. And man, talk about your pre-comics code books. Everybody is dying left and right. There are tidal waves that are killing people. This is like Man of Steel level destruction.
Oh.
It is amazing. And they're just like, yep, and then all the people on that ship died. And our villain of the piece is this Count Varro, who has been disowned by every country in the world. And the country of his birth, Bosnia, doesn't exist anymore. Hasn't existed for 30 years. So he claims this new continent
for Spain,
for himself, because, as we all know, international law says whoever first explores the continent owns the continent, lock, stock, and barrel.
Finders keepers, yes.
Finders keepers, yes. But then we see there actually are a race of blue-skinned beings who live on this continent already. And as we also know, if people already live there, if there is a native population, they own the land. That's just international law, right?
Or you just give them blankets with yellow fever. It's fine.
Well, that seems to be Vero's... This was the civilized 1950s. So we don't do that sort of thing anymore.
Yeah, we don't drop diseases on people anymore, Lilith. What are you talking about?
Anyway.
Yeah, biological warfare. Out of the question. Okay.
So Count Vero decides that they'll just kill all the... And they don't say who they are, but I have to believe these are the Lemurians. And I love the fact that they made them blue, which is how they had depicted the Atlanteans prior to this. Which shows that even though they're not calling it out in the book, they are still maintaining a consistency within their universe about what beings that lived underwater would look like. So I appreciate that kind of thing. Plotline. After Vero's people shoot all the Lemurians, they decide, Prothus, who is their leader, says he wants to be friends with people, believes that people are good. Vero puts an end to that thought, and then they decide to go back under the ocean and never return, which I'm sure didn't last long. But then all of Vero's people die. Well, actually, Vero causes it to sink because he tries to blow up the access port, the cave that the Lemurians were living in, and in doing so actually causes an earthquake. Then him and his people start to drown, but Vero has gone mad with power, says, "No, it is my land! It is my land, and I will die." And then he does. But yeah, so I really love everything about Marvel Boy in this. They have this whole thing about how because he had grown up on Uranus, he'll be a little bit stronger and a little bit faster than most humans, and of course has his telepathy powers. But that if he doesn't take a special pill every so many hours, he will become weak and sick, which you don't want. Even though he's a human, so why basically biochemically he is completely screwed up.
Yeah, well that's what we asked on the Quantum Zone, because they said he when he was a baby, him and his father went to Uranus, and it's like they grew up there, and then when he turned 17, he comes back to Earth, and he's like, "Oh, I'm weaker on Earth." We're like, "Why? He's biologically human. Why would Earth make him weaker?"
Well, and Philip.
Here we go.
If you read Ages of Atlas, you know that this is actually
they retconned it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's actually a Uranian, and Uranians do not look human at all. But in the moment, the idea is that look, he's lived on Uranus this whole time. He's adjusted to Uranus's chemistry. So as a Uranian, he's faster and stronger than an average human.
Yes.
But it's sort of like a reverse of the whole yellow sun thing with Superman. When he's on Earth for too long, he is going to start to get weaker because it's just not what his body's used to.
And if you want to hear more of Marvel Boy, next couple of weeks we'll be talking Marvel Boy on the Quantum Zone.
Oh, great.
On the Quantum Zone! Listen to episode 112 for that joke. Oh, Lilith!
Yeah, Haunted... Okay.
Lilith, you know what Charlie bought but didn't read yet? An issue of Quasar.
What?
Yes, I do have...
I heard that.
I actually didn't buy it. This one was free. So...
Wow.
As you do with Quasar stuff.
Hey, every so often they throw up a free one just to entice you.
They're giving away gold, Jerry. Gold!
And they said, who wants to grab it? And I said, oh, Quasar, let me grab it. And it's Quasar versus Kismet, or meets Kismet, or collision with Kismet.
No, she's
in it. And the Hive is in it, and I'm excited about that because I love the Hive.
Yep.
Have you read this book? This is 57, Quasar 57.
Please, yeah, I have the whole series. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, like recently. I've read a lot of books. I don't remember what I've read. But
yeah, it's towards the end of the series because it ended at 60. So yeah, it's towards the end.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm really excited about this book. We've got the Cocoon. I don't know if her is in this. If this is this has something to do.
Well, Kismet is her. So.
Oh, Kismet is her.
Yes.
Okay. So, because I know you have him who becomes Warlock. I thought he should have stayed with him. I liked him better as a name. I like when he just had the Speedos. Didn't have to be all Adam Warlock. I didn't need him to go through a goth phase.
Starlin.
That's all I'm saying.
Starlin.
It's unavoidable. Everybody secretly goes through a goth phase. Whether it's just painting your nails black or wearing guy liner, everybody does it.
Starlin.
Anyway, so I'm very excited. So that will be something we'll talk about next week.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, but that's what I read this week. GI Combat was a good book, but man, it's just weird. And again, it's these kind of things that we're like, man, they just didn't realize like how controversial having a main character be a Confederate general would be. Like 60 years later, It's like I was watching the Waltons the other day, and there's a whole storyline about like everyone all upset because there's a possibility that this noble Confederate general once gave aid and comfort to Yankees, and they were so upset about that. I'm like, Walton's Mountain was not a nice place. It's like, gee, I'm starting to completely rethink how wholesome this whole storyline is. So. Yeah, like, oh, Yankees. Ugh. It's like, yeah, because they're like the people that didn't want to own people. So,
but no, speaking of, you were talking about
old... because they had factories and other means. Just saying.
But no, you're talking about old.
Why own the Irish when you can rent them? That was the Northern's view.
Wow. But no, you're talking old Spider-Man. I mean, it's not that old, but it's like a retelling. Spider-Man Blue. That's like the only other thing I read besides those DC books this week. I had never read Spider-Man Blue before, Lilith.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Why?
I don't know. But yeah, by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. Yeah, it's like a retelling of like back when the Green Goblin first unmasked Spider-Man, and they battle, and Norman comes down with his usual case of amnesia, Lilith.
He's an Osborn! What do you want?
But it basically goes through, when Peter first meets Gwen and Mary Jane, and, it's like those two are, like, competing for him and stuff. And
I'm just shocked you haven't read it. Like,
I know, I hadn't. So I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I never read this. Let me read this. So I bought the trade digitally, yeah.
You know why they come down with amnesia, right?
The hair, right?
No, it's what King Tut used to do to Batman all the time.
Oh, hit him on the head?
I have amnesia. I don't remember the crimes I've committed. You cannot hold me accountable.
Yeah, and after
my steel boulder.
Well, yeah, and after in the first issue, after their big battle, and Osborn gets amnesia, he pulls a Cosby. He's like, "Oh, I have to go to the hospital. I cannot be, it's like, can't arrest him. He's in the hospital."
But that's how you do it, man. I have no recollection of these crimes you say I committed. I was under the influence of the goblin gas.
So it's
goblins.
So yeah, the story's good. I mean, it takes place around those Stan Lee, John Romita Sr. issues. Peter moves in with Harry Osborn and early Gwen and Mary Jane.
That's a good time.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I like that team of Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Those are the college years.
That's right. The swinging 60s.
The lost years, some would say.
Well, no, because what I'm going to say is, like, this one is actually high school Peter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
High school Peter, who is so much fun.
Who's a total pleb. Ugh.
He is trying to make his way in Queens with a sick aunt. Who is not as sick as, this is actually one of these things I was feeling about it. We can talk about this a little bit more in Superconnectivity.
He was the king of Queens.
Like, I miss, like, Aunt May being, having problems. Being frail and sickly. I miss it. It's like, yeah, okay, great.
I miss her near
Silver
death.
Tiger, Grey Panther, Aunt May, it's fine. But it's like part of his storyline was like, dude, my aunt is dying. And I need to like.
Yeah, but how many hundreds of
issues? She's 45. She can kick the bucket any minute.
Yeah, but how many issues can you drag out an 80-year-old Aunt May, Charlie?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
When time doesn't move.
I mean, Amazing Spider-Man's 800 some issues in. Oh, she could die at any moment. Which he should have let her die, but of course, no. You know when she got youthful and sprightly, right, Charlie? The whole Mephisto makeover.
Marissa Tomei wanted to
No,
play.
Mephisto.
Oh yeah, Mephisto. Oh, there you go, man. Mephisto. Well, you know, hey.
Wait a minute. Is
if you're gonna bring it back to life.
What?
You know, Mephisto. Yeah. So yeah, apparently that's why. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna do, you know, and for what it's worth, you know, maybe that's what MJ whispered. Would you not have her be on death's door constantly? Just let Peter have a life. Let Aunt May not be dying every issue.
Can you reinforce those hips? Thank you. Because she does get around.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, so that, I think.
Oh!
And really, for what it's worth, I guess what we can probably say is that, like, oh, man, could this be like a gigantic cosmic conspiracy that basically, by getting Peter Parker to make a deal with him, he's basically gained access to the entire web of the Spider-Verse, and like can now influence all time and space.
And he's already taken out the world's best hero, Superior Spider-Man.
Wow, has he though?
He regressed him.
Charlie's still holding on to that hope.
Have you seen Rick and Morty? Have you seen Project Phoenix?
Exactly.
He's got 6 more on the tank. You know, Superior will be back. You know, remember when Ultron like created an Ultron who didn't get downloaded with Ultron's memories, so he was just an AI, but he didn't have all of Ultron's baggage.
Yeah, wasn't it like Ultron 12 or 13 or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. But it was like an Ultron that like tried to like work out a deal with Hank. It's like, look, man, I don't know what the guy who built me thing with you is, dude. I just want to live my life. And
yes,
you know, and so I get the feeling that Anna Marie is gonna pull out one of the old Tolliver clones and jam it up with some memory tapes, and there you go. 1940s technology at its finest.
The living brain.
The living brain. He's in there, man. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. When you can break the brain down to data, then you can have 1 million copies of it.
True. All right. Anything else comics-wise, people?
Ooh, but fun fact, that actually suggests that the Doc Ock that is out there now might actually be the original Doc Ock that got freed from heck by Mephisto.
Well, yeah, Mephisto's magic. He can put the original audio.
No, but I mean, he could like actually, instead of like letting him come back, actually put the soul of the original Doc Ock in him. Ooh, this could get to be a much more interesting story. I'm just saying.
Charlie, yes, sir.
You've awakened my connections, Philip.
Well,
thanks for reminding me.
Well, let's end this so we can get to your super connections.
Yes, I don't have as many this week, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Never does.
We'll see how long that lasts. Maybe
never
Bill's
does.
gonna fall for that one.
He never does. I mean, he's half asleep. He's still. Oh, my mind is churning.
It churns a lot,
like butter.
Ooh, on that
butter.
All right, so everyone, send your thoughts. TV, comics, the whole diamond thing. Hey, send your praise for Mr. Tristan Esser. And tell his father to buy more comics so he can do more reviews.
I will.
He even sprung for an original. What a dad. Anyway, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow us on social media. Follow the YouTube channel. All of it, all in one convenient place. That's Linktree. That's linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors, Tweaked Audio, Hunt a Killer, Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And when you buy everything in this new apocalypse world, and you go on Amazon, because you know you do, use the Southgate Media Group link right down there in the show notes. Doesn't matter if it's YouTube or the podcast, right down there in the show notes. And send some money to keep these shows on the air. Put some money in the pocket of Rob, Master Doom Southgate.
Go back and look at my history, and you will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong. Mark my words.
Lilith Hellfire.
You nerds want to hang out on the interwebs? You can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire or on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire 69. Total package.
You are the total package, Lilith Hellfire. Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, to discuss how big of a cosmic control rod you really need, write me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And of course, follow me on the Twitters at LiveTweet, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's back, baby. At Chaliessa. That's CHARLIESSER. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
There's a thin line between.
Thank you for joining us once again for another week. Everyone else, the comics, the TV may have abandoned you, but we have not. And who are we? We are the Capes. Your Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics.
What, do you want Tristan to do it? I don't know.
No. Oh,
Lunatics.
Ampersand. I don't know.
Your Capes. There, we did forwards and backwards. We're good.
There you go.
You clicked on the show, you know what it's called.
Forward, backwards, up and down. You know. Your classic 69.
Inside out.
Your classic 69.
I'll hold them in my hand.
Or else.
Come back next time. Who knows what'll happen? But we're the only entertainment in town now. Fight me, nerd.